All right, lads, given that been out, hopefully I'll be back soon enough. I'll put up some of the answers to those questions that we gave. Just do them as videos. So, all right, so straightforward enough. It's a couple of little things. This is a bit like the e-fuller one, so hopefully you're able to do it. But we'll just start at the top. Ger Power lodged 120,000 to a business bank. Again, the same day he purchased the business for 100,000. 120,000 is his capital, so we put that in. The 100,000 is used to work out the goodwill. So I'm going to do that as my first working. So the goodwill of the business is what he paid, which is 100,000, minus what the business is worth. So it's worth premises of 80,000, plus 10,000 equipment, plus 3,000 stock, plus debtors 27. Let me choose liability, so that's 580, take it away. Creditors liability, take it away, 3250. Rates prepaid is an asset. Money that's owed back to us. Stock of oil is an asset, so add those two on. And stock stationery is an asset. 150. Some of those are things you haven't seen in other questions. So stocks are always assets, just be aware of that. Let's see what we do with the stock stationery in a bit. This is obviously from a mock question. In the mocks, they tend to throw in a few more sort of curveball type things. That gives you goodwill anyway of 6910. I'm doing this blind, so given that it's got a balance, just if I've made any mistake in the initial calculation, it's going to be wrong elsewhere. So I'm hoping I haven't. What I'll do is I'll check the market scheme at the end. Anyway, that's our goodwill done. What I would do just at the end, I'll get into this working here and get these in because it'll speed the process up later on. So we've got our stock of 4,700, and I'm going to put that in my closing stock as well. We've got our debtors 3750. We've got our bank of 15.3. We've got our electricity dues liability 166. Strange number. Creditors liability. So 3590. And he estimates that the total value of premises was 170. Now, you won't have seen that before, but that's going to be important because that sort of suggests that there's probably depreciation of premises. We're going to see that in a second. All right, so I should call that premises. So again, back up to the top. The premises is 80,000. You'll have your usual working. So his premise of 80,000. He then to the borrowing. He borrowed 100,000, part of which was used to purchase a premises costing 95,000. So you've got your 80,000 and your 95,000, which is 175,000 here. So if premises is 175,000 there, and it's value of 170,000 there, well, that implies there's depreciation of premises there. Okay, so in our expenses, our first expense is going to be depreciation of premises. And that's 5,000 euros. Now that's new for you. I'd be hoping that some of you got that. Just from knowing that what depreciation is, and it's the difference in cost and value. Hopefully, some of you got that. Stock's 3,000, so that's our opening stock. We'll throw that in. Debtors 27, we can skip that. We don't have to work out the sales, it's in complete B. Light meat due, so that's our light meat working. So we'll take our payment for light and heat, which is 1640. For due at the start of the year, so that means it's from last year, so we'll take it away. Again, you haven't seen that in incomplete records, but you've certainly seen it in club accounts and service firms. You also have a stock of heating oil at the start of the year, which you're going to add on. You always add on opening stocks. Again, you haven't seen that before, but you know you've opening stocks that you always add on, right? And then down at the bottom, you have light and heat due at the end of the year. We're going to add that on because you do. Light and heat due is 166. And you have a stock of, is there a stock of oil at the bottom? There isn't. So we can put that in. So that should bring us to 1796. So always check for drawings. A quarter of the light and heat. So we're going to find a quarter of that. So that's 449. Again, you'd be questioning that number, but sure, we'll worry about it at the end. And I'm going to start put my drawings working over here. So with light and heat, 449. You don't actually have to label those, just I'm labeling them for your notes. But there's no great panic to do it. Anyway, 1796 minus the 449 is 1347 as your expense. Again, that's interesting working with a couple of things that we have at the start that we haven't had before. So trade creditors you can skip, as always. It's normally used to work out purchases, but purchases is our final answer. So next one is 4 months rates prepaid. So we'll go to our rates. We have paid rates 1800 for 12 months. Add on the prepaid for your rates at the start of the year of 500, and then if that's 3 months there, well then we have 3 months prepaid at the end of the year, and it'll be 3/12 of the 1800. It is 450, I'd say, equals 1800 by 3/12. Yeah, 450. So that's 1850 as our total. See if there's any drawings in the rates. Again, 1/4 rates payable is drawing, so we'll find a quarter of that, which is 42. Sorry, was it 4 months? Sorry, it's 4 months, isn't it? Because there's no way those numbers could work out with decimal places, mock or otherwise. So it's 4/12. So that'll be 600. So sorry about that. 1800 by 4/12. So that's going to be 2,900. So the drawings is a quarter of that. Oh, God's sake, sorry. So minus 600. So a quarter of that. Which is 425. Okay, so remember to put that into your drawings working. And good lesson not to just rush these too much, because make mistakes. If there wasn't a decimal place in that, I would have missed that mistake. So now it's 1275 is your expense. So here's our rates done. Stock of heating oil 570 we've done at stock of stationery 150. Now I don't really know what stock station is going to tie in with, but I have to add it to something. So we can then have a look and see if there's any stationery if there's anything like that. So we've got light and heat done, interest, wages and general expenses, equipment, rates, college fees. So I'm going to say it goes in with wages and general expenses because there's nothing else to go in with. Okay. So I'm going to do working because I can see there's a few things to do with wages. So wages and general expenses 25.6, and you always add opening stocks. So I'm going to add it on, and that is 150. Now I may have to come back to that later on because if I come across anything else that might be better suited. But for the time being, I'm going to say that wage is 25,750 and hope that that is correct. Okay, that's a bit like your wages prepaid or whatever at the start of the year. You're adding it on. It's your normal working. So it's basically testing you to do you understand that opening stocks are to do with this year, so you add them on. All right, so Power didn't keep a full set of books during the year, but estimates that the gross margin is 25%, so that's grand. We'll use that later on. So our drawings then, so stock drawings, he takes 360 per month. So it's 360 by 12. Just be careful with that. It's not per week, so it's per month. And 420 per month for cash. So 420 by 12. Okay. Borrowed 100,000, so the loan's going to be 100,000 for the time being. I'll put that in. He's going to repay it in installments, so it's not going to be 100,000. Okay. So he's borrowed 100,000. I'll come back to it. And we've dealt with the warehouse. Agreed that he would repay the loan in 10 annual installments of 10,000 each. The first one is due on the 30th of the 6th. So loan due within 1 year is 10,000. So that means after 1 year, loan is 10,000. So 90,000 is due after 1 year. The two together add up to your 100,000. The first installment become due and payable. We've done that. So interest on the loan is 9% per annum. So I'll do that working. So it's 9% of 100,000. You got the loan on the 1st of the 8th, so 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So that's by 5 12s. Okay, so 9,000 by 5 12s. It's 3750. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip a few lines, right? So loan interest due is therefore 3750 minus whatever we've paid. So we've paid 3,400. So there's loan interest due of 350. Okay, we'll put that into our current liabilities. So into our current liabilities in our balance sheet. $350. Okay, that's done. Then there'd be drawings on the loan before we put the loan interest in here. So in total, the loan interest is 3,750, but normally some of the loan is drawing, so 1/5 of it this time. So it's 1/5 of that is 750. So the loan as an expense is 3,000 euros. So I'm going to put my 750 into my drawings working. And I'll put the 3,000 in there. Okay. So that's my loan interest done. That's that working done. So during the year, he received an inheritance of 7,000. That's capital introduced. Lodged into the business bank account. He's done his light and heat. So interest, we've done that. Wages and general expenses, we've done that. Equipment purchased on the 1st of the 10th is 14,000. Now, equipment is an asset. They're telling us the date normally because there's depreciation involved. So I'll come back to that. So we'll just put the 14,000 there. Rates we've done. College fees, half for two staff members and half for family. So college fees is an expense. And we could say that of the 6,000, 3,000 is for the business and 3,000 is drawings. Now, I'll just tell you this because it's in another question where it says some of the college's fees is for a son who also works with the business. That wouldn't be drawings, that's business expense. So the business is entitled to pay that as an expense. But anyway, that's for another question. So let's see if we've done all the drawings. Light and heat, rates, interest payable. There's no drawings on the equipment, so we're grand. Decides to set up a provision for bad debts, which is 4% of debtors. Now, this is something I should adjust. So 4% of debtors, I'll just make that bad debt provision. It's 4% of debtors at the end of the year. So our debtors at the end of the year is 3750. Which is 150. So what we have to do is we call that increase in bad debt provision, and that is 150, and that bad debt provision gets taken away from debtors. So I need to change this to 3,600. Okay. So I should have really done that separately, but I've no room after the bank one, so that's how I'd fix that if that happened to me in an exam, or better still, I'd use a pencil. No pencil there. Anyway, so that's the bad debt provision, and to charge depreciation at 15% per annum on equipment held at the 31st of 12. So we do have depreciation of equipment, so that's what we're working out. So it's 15% of the equipment, which is 14,000. You bought the equipment on the 1st of the 10th, so you have a 10, 11, 12, 3 months. So that'll be $525. Which seems very low. Why was there equipment at the start? There was. Right. I'm a complete clown. I'll just fix that. Not sure how I missed it. I skipped equipment of 10,000 at the start. So the depreciation of equipment is 15% of 10,000 for the first 9 months, and 15% of 24,000 for the remaining 3 months. That'll give us the right answer, I hope. Again, I rushed out a bit too much, so just be careful of that. If you come across a number that you think is wrong, like I just did there, just go back and check yourself, So that should then be, it's at 2025. So that's our depreciation, and this should be 24,000. And 2025, which is, what is it, 21,980. Okay. So we've dealt with the depreciation. We have everything in debtors, stock, bank, and what do you always have? This one there. Rates prepaid, of course. Sorry, it's again just trying to work out. 3 current assets are probably a bit shy. Remember when we did our rates prepaid of 600 when I was making a mess of that at the start. I forgot to put it in. Okay, so credit. All right, so that should be everything. It's an really easy one to forget, that rates one. Jesus, I'd give out to you lads if you did it. So anyway, add up here fixed assets. This is 198,885. So it's 2025. Just check that. 2025. Jesus. Maybe there's a 5 there somewhere. 19885. And I'm rushing this a bit too much, I suppose. 24,200 for the current assets. 14,106. So your working capital, take them away from each other. 10,094, and we'll add that onto our fixed assets. And 208,879. I don't know if this is right at all, so I'll check it right at the very end. Anyway, so we put that in as our capital employed. And that's going to be the basis then of working it out. So I just have to put in my drawings. Sorry, just put in my drawings 13,984. That's a minus. That's the only thing you have to be careful with here. 984. So we've got our answer. We now need to work out what our profit is. So to find our profit, we work backwards. So we're going to add on the minuses and take away the pluses from 208,879. So it's going to be equal to 208,879. Add on the drawing, so 13,984. And take away 7,000, the 120,000, and the 90,000. And you get 5963. 5863, is that right? So 2, 8, 9. Oh look, already 979. 9, 2, 8, 979. These numbers don't look right at all, but should balance at the end. We'll just check with one of the top 3 there in the class to see what they got when we come back in, or check the market scheme. So anyway, we'll take our net profit. We'll bring that over here, 5963. That's not wrong as it looks. Add up your expenses. They are 39,522. So it's the same as, what have I left out there? I already see what I've left out. Depreciation of equipment, or of vehicles, or whatever it was, the 2025. I didn't get that in. We'll point out that I'm on a heap of painkillers at the moment, so any errors are justified. So 5963 was our profit. So expenses are 41,547. So minus 41,547. So to work back, there was no investment income, so we can go all the way up to gross profit. So work backwards. We take our 5963 and we're going to add on the 41,547, and you get 47,510 is your gross profit. These are looking a bit more realistic as numbers. So profit then is 25% gross margin. So profit is 25% of sales. So we take that 47510, we divide it by 25 and multiply it by 100. 190,040. It's looking a little less likely again. So anyway, to find the cost of sales, which is our next step, take those two numbers away from each other. So take the 190,040 minus the gross profit, 1425 or 4750. That gives you a gross profit of 142530. So then how do we find, or sorry, cost of sales of 142530. So opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock equals this number. So work backwards, 142530, add on the 47 and take away the 3000. That gives you 144230. So your last step then, just add on the drawings onto that. So the stock drawings was 4320. So if we add 4320 to that, we get 148550. And then just take away 4320. That's it, finished, and hopefully it's right. Look, someone can check the marking scheme. That question is Ger Power, which is the 2015 Examcraft. Okay, so that's that one done. Hopefully not some use. Obviously, it's been a little bit jumpy, but it's great. I'll do the other one as well, and you can check that you've got them right. All right. Hopefully, see you on Monday, but I'll have the other one done. All right, well done, lads.